Hi, everyone. So welcome to the American Experience. I'm just going to, you guys all have access to the course syllabus, and you all can read, but I wanted to walk through it and emphasize some of the very significant parts of this. So this should look relatively familiar to you, as it should look similar to all the other syllabi that you have seen this year. If you ever need our Google Class code, though you shouldn't because I think I invited everyone, but it's right up here in the corner. My email is here. You can email me at any time. If it's past like 8 o'clock at night, I probably won't get back to you until the morning. But please still send me an email if you ever need anything, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. So the first thing that will always be on this syllabus is the weekly schedule of instruction. And so I split it between cohort A and cohort B in full remote. The reason why I'm having full remote students follow the same schedule as cohort B is because I have a very small amount of cohort B students. So I felt like that would be the best option for cohort C / full remote students. So if you are full remote, please follow the cohort B schedule. So if you look, especially pay attention, my cohort B students, you do have work Monday and Tuesday. It's just to watch this nice, lovely video and take a quick syllabus quiz, which just asks you questions about some of the significant things on this document. You also need to sign up for Padlet and EduFlow, which there are instructions and links to both. We use both a lot in this class, and so having you sign up beforehand just takes, it's good because we don't have to take away class time for it. You'll notice that on Wednesdays, for right now, they're still remote. So, they're usually a catch-up day or, a starting remote work day. I am trying to keep the remote work as reading. And so we will see how it goes, but I would rather spend our 2 days together really kind of digging into what it is you guys read over your remote days, and then you also get the chance to read more significant chunks of the text if we focus on just reading on those days. So you need to schedule a meeting in advance if you need me during office hours. So I am going to link to a You Can Book Me page here for you guys. So if you want to schedule a meeting, just click on this link. It'll bring you right to that page. Click on a time. If there are no times available, that means everybody picked a slot. If it's dire and there are no times, send me an email. I can probably meet at another time that is not listed. So, always shoot me an email. For remote students, notice that you are going to be asked to tune in during cohort B days. I will post all the Zoom links for my classes in Google Classroom. It'll be right at the top of classwork. And so the Zoom links stay the same will stay the same all semester. It'll be the same one you use to get into class each day. So just be mindful of that. Unless I tell you you don't need to come in, sometimes I'll be like, hey, today's just a work day. You are expected to Zoom in and be present and part of class during our class time. If there is an issue with that and you cannot Zoom in, you need to talk to me ASAP. Send me an email, please. And we can work around it, but you need to let me know so that, I'm not, you're not losing points on your habits of work, and we're in better communication. So the other thing, what I'm not going to do this semester and what I had done, so last semester I just kind of copied and pasted all the weeks on top of each other. What I'm going to do is I'm only going to have the current week up, and then this is going to link you to the whole list of past assignments. So if you ever need to see previous weeks, click on this link here. So for class, obviously materials you need a laptop, it should be charged. My hybrid friends, you're supposed to get new laptops, but right now I don't have any extra chargers for the laptops you have. So please make sure your laptop is charged when you come in. Everyone should have headphones that connect to your laptop. Pens and pencils, obviously. Highlighters and colored pens are optional, but highly recommended for any of you guys who, really like to highlight. And then a binder or a folder. Honestly, a folder will do. There will probably be handouts, but they're minimal. But it's better to have a folder to put them in than just to have them flying all over your backpack, and then you can't find them. If you can't get access to any of these materials, let me know. Send me an email, and I will do what I can to get them for you. Section 3, plagiarism and cheating. Per usual, this is always in our syllabi. Plagiarism is using and stealing intentionally or unintentionally another person's ideas, concepts, research pictures, graphs, statistics, etc., without in-text documentation and a works cited page. When in doubt, cite your sources. And then there's cheating, which is copying another student's work as your own. Please know that it is really obvious if you copy another student's paper in the same class. Please don't do that. That's not okay. First off, that counts as plagiarism and cheating, right? And the consequences they're not worth it, okay? I mean, just from the first offense, you're required to have a meeting with myself and your administrator. Your parents are going to be notified by me. Your other teachers are going to be notified by me. And a notation is going to be placed in your PowerSchool information file. So this sticks around for a while. Know that when you're in college, if you plagiarize and they catch you, they can kick you right out. So this is no joke. You really need to be careful, and you really need to make sure that you're citing anything, any sources that you use. You can read the rest of this, the subsequent offenses, and the remainder here. As I said, it's been relatively the same for the past few years, so there shouldn't be any surprises there. Student expectations, you guys at this point all know the COVID school-wide SOPs. Full remote learners, you will follow the cohort B assignment and deadline schedule. You are expected to Zoom into your scheduled class period on cohort B days unless otherwise notified. If you cannot make a synchronous class, you must tell me ASAP. All assignments are due by 7:50 a.m. the following morning unless otherwise instructed. All work must be completed in Google Classroom using Google Docs, Slides, Sheets, unless work is being done through a separate site like Flipgrid, Padlet, Eduflow, or Newsela. I will not accept assignments attached in PDF, Pages, Keynote format. You need to be using Google. Expectations for hybrid students, you follow your specific cohort assignment and deadline schedule. If you are absent, you are expected to Zoom in during your scheduled class time, unless you're like on your deathbed. Then you need to send me an email and let me know. All your work must be completed again in Google Classroom using Google Docs, Slides, Sheets, etc. Right? In addition, these expectations are for all students. Students will be required to read teacher-assigned texts and independent text, both inside and outside of class. Students will be required to write and read both inside and out of class. Students will be expected to interact with all peers, both in person and remotely, as well as across cohorts. Students are expected to stay on task and turn in work by the deadline in order to keep up with the workload. That is important. You really need to make sure that you are checking Google Classroom every day for any assignments. Like I said, I'm going to try to separate are remote, and try to like keep remote days as like designated reading days, but that's not always going to be the case. This semester, there was a huge struggle with my cohort B students who wouldn't check Google Classroom on A days. You need to log on every day. Even if you're remote, you need to get on there every day and see if there's anything new. Remote work should be about a minimum of 2 hours a week, maximum 4 hours per class. This is not a college or AP class, so we don't need to worry about that. You guys all know the grading and evaluation scale at this point, and if you don't, you can take a look over this yourself. You know all of this, late penalties for collected works. If you do not complete the week's assignments by the due date, your parent will be, I will contact you to make a plan. Parents will be contacted if you fail a summative or if there is a pattern of incomplete assignments. So just be aware that I will be in touch with parents if you start falling behind. For students in the hybrid model, if a student has not completed the week's assignments by the due date, attendance during flex period is mandatory that week, even if the student has early release privilege. If I request you for flex, you better be here for flex unless you have a valid excuse and you need to tell me. Late assignments, you get a missing in power school. There are no late penalties, like no late points taken off. And so once you turn it in, you will get your grade. However, it's going to dock from your student responsibilities. So just make sure that you are aware of that. Student responsibility, this rubric should look the same as it did last semester. This is really just making sure that you guys are being responsible young adults. Student responsibility is like what you should be doing in real life. When you get a job, this is what's going to be expected of you. You're arriving in person, right? You've got everything that you need to be there. You're completing things on time. In the real world, there are deadlines. You need to complete them on time. It's the same here in school. If you're unable to attend a meeting, you need to make arrangements with me. You need to let me know. Don't just not show up, or it's going to affect your student responsibility grade. You're engaging in classroom and remote activities. You are participating in classroom discussions as well as online discussions while in remote learning. You commit to continuous growth through reflective revision, and you demonstrate perseverance and positivity through challenges. So don't come into class saying how much you hate school every day, or else, that's kind of going to be a bit of a bummer. There goes that positivity. And then you're demonstrating respect to others in all learning settings. You're sharing responsibility during collaborative tasks, providing constructive feedback and support to other students, and following all classroom and school SOPs. And here's obviously your grading scale. But that's it for our syllabus. Like I said, it should look pretty familiar to all of you, as it should be similar to most of you, and look like other syllabi that you have had this year. Make sure that you reference this for the tasks that you need to do. And if you have any questions, let me know.